Okay, so before we put in some cash into our wallet, I'm just going to quickly explain what we're going to be acquiring. So when you want to buy crypto here, you can either do it via the credit card or P2P trading. I don't use third-party payment. And you can basically buy different types of currency. And you usually want to buy either USDT or BUSD. Now, these two are basically similar currencies that's based on the US dollar. BUSD is basically Binance's internal currency, and if we see the exchange rate here, it's 1.015. Let's compare it with the USDT, 1.015. So very similar kind of amounts of money that you will get between those two. And basically you can set an amount that you want to put in, and you can see how much you'll receive. Now, I could change the currency here to be Singapore dollar, for example. And this is how much BUSD I would get. I could go continue. And then I can add my card and I can make the payment. I generally don't use this method. I use another one called P2P trading because you have better transaction fees. And you can either buy or sell currencies here. I just go straight to BUSD over here. And then you can choose what currency you want to use. And you can see the exchange rates over here. So basically when we're buying, we want the lowest possible exchange rate. And there are some limits over here. What's written here, available, is basically how much this person has to sell. Limit is the minimum amount you have to spend and the maximum amount that you can buy from this person. The payment mechanism is what method they accept payment. Now, being in Singapore, I prefer Pay Now because that's very direct and that's very fast. You can also see the user's success rate. Generally feels better to go with people who have a higher success rate of completion. Not to say that people who have less completion are less trustworthy. There are some probably intermittent issues that can happen during a transaction. So let's try a simple transaction here with Vampire Me, and I'm gonna do buy BUSD. So this person only has 7 BUSD available to sell. So if I wanted to just buy $5, it says there's a limit here. So this person is basically trying to sell exactly $10. So now my minimum amount that I have to buy is 10. Always important to look at the terms and conditions here. So my recommendation is when making your first transaction, just keep the amount small for a first transaction, just to get into the hang of buying something. So it's always good to look at the terms and conditions over here. Usually people will give their number and their instructions about how they want to manage the transaction. So this person says, WhatsApp me on this number. And if they haven't replied, they might be sleeping. So let's see what happens when we go next. Now you come into this page over here, which gives you a time limit for the payment to be made. In this time limit, you have to make the payment, and the other person is going to receive a confirmation that the payment has been made. They will be able to check their account to see that the money has come into their account. And once they notice that the money has come in, they can send the BUSD to your account. Okay, so important to check the tips here. So the seller says, please do not write BTC, ETH, USDT, BNB, and any other in the notes for payment. It's also good to read the notes here. As this person has said, please be patient if I don't attend to your inquiry. So it's actually 6 o'clock in the morning now. Probably not the best time to make such a transaction. And different people have different kinds of instructions about what information they need from you to execute a successful transaction. You can also do these transactions on your phone. Generally, what people ask is that you message them before you do a transaction. You can even use a QR code to actually just scan this and pay the person straight away. So generally what I would recommend is always message a person before you complete a transaction to let them know that you're going to do a transaction and just to make sure that they are ready to receive your transaction. Once they confirm, yes, they're ready, then you can go ahead, make the transfer, and usually they will send you the money back and it will come straight into your account. Now, it can be very nerve-wracking if the person doesn't send the money within the time limit. I had a friend who sent $5,000 to somebody and it took about 6 hours for the money to come back. And it was their first transaction and the money didn't come within the 15 minutes. My friend got really paranoid and he was like, okay, I've just sent this person $5,000 into their account. And what if they don't send me the money back, right? They could just disappear with the money. So once you've completed the payment, you can click transfer, and then the seller gets notified that the transfer has been made, and then they will be able to send you the money back. Okay, I'm not going to process this order right now. I'm just going to cancel the order, but these are the steps in order to do a P2P trade. Take note, if you made a payment to the seller, make sure to not cancel the order. Canceling order 3 times a day will prevent you from trading for the rest of the day. I'm going to click confirm here, and the order is cancelled, and there's no problem at all. If you want to learn more about trading crypto, I'll leave a link in the description.